This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I made a fully weighted checklist that you can go through to find out if someone is right for you. Holy shit, I fucking cooked with this one. I know this video is about to fucking hit, right? Because I've personally never seen someone do one of these, like a fully weighted checklist of like literally everything, even though I know you motherfuckers want to use it right now because I personally want to use it. So really simple, I'm gonna list out some items, and if it applies to your relationship, then just add however many points or like subtract how many points the item is valued. Keep track of your score, and at the end I'll tell you what it means. So I split this checklist into like rough categories. The first section is about core compatibility between the two of you. So this section is about like the basics, right? So like attraction, respect, whether or not you actually get along day to day. These are like the foundations of a relationship. Starting with the first item, you're physically attracted to this person. So if you're physically attracted to this person, then you get +4 points. The second item is you respect them as a person, +6 points. You'd be embarrassed if your friends met them, -7 points. This person does something that you're morally against. So it's something that you subjectively are like you think is like immoral. So for example, you're against cheating, or like you're against lying, or this person shoplifts, stuff like that. That's a -12. Next item is you've both survived a minor inconvenience together. So for example, like a flight delay or like an IKEA trip without fighting each other, that's a +5. If this person has ever made you feel small on purpose, then that's a -10. If you admire how this person spends their time, that's +4. If you secretly resent how they spend their time, then that's a -5. If you actually enjoy doing nothing together with this person, that's a +5. If you feel like this person gets your sense of humor, or like you think they're funny, they think you're funny, that's a +4. If you'd be okay being stuck in an airport with them for like 10 hours, that's a +6. Okay, so that wraps up the core compatibility section. If that section didn't go well, then you should take it seriously because these are the things that matter the most long term. The next section is communication and conflict. So this section is basically, do you two talk like adults or like contestants on Love Island? Like, can you communicate with each other using clear words, and like are you able to express you fucking know what I mean. Okay, so first item on this list, they can admit when they're wrong about something, that's a +5. If you can usually understand the other person's side in an argument, so like you two can each understand the other person in an argument, that's a +4. If you fight and it feels like competition, that's a -6. If you fight and it feels like collaboration, that's a +5. If this person talks over you, like when you're saying something or like when you're in an argument, that's a -5. If you feel like you can disagree in a level-headed way, then that's a +4. If you walk away from arguments feeling dismissed, that's a -6. If you can laugh about your disagreements afterwards, it's a +3. If they can take feedback or criticism without turning it into an argument, that's a +6. If you leave conversations feeling understood, that's a +5. If this person has shown that they can apologize and that they can actually change their behavior, so they don't just say they're sorry and then they'll change, that like they've shown you that they actually can change, that's a +8. So that wraps up the second section about communication and conflict, and if you score badly here, then congratulations, you're probably in a situationship. Okay, moving on to the next section. This section is about emotional security. So this is basically like how safe and understood you feel in the relationship. It's about like trust, vulnerability, like whether or not you feel like you can rely on this person. So the first item is if you trust them even when they're out of sight, or like if you don't see them for a while, that's a +6. If you check their online activity when you're anxious or like you don't know where they are, then that's a -5. If you've considered hiding your true feelings so as not scare this person off, that's a -7. If this person can remember small details or like small things that you said days ago, then that's a +5. If this person shows interest in your world or like your friends or like your passions, your hobbies, that's a +4. If they avoid emotional topics or they shut down when you discuss something serious, that's a -6. If you feel emotionally seen by this person, that's a +8. If you feel emotionally analyzed by this person, that's a -3. If you feel like you can be vulnerable with this person, that's a +5. If you've thought about hiding parts of your life so that this person won't judge you, or like you're scared that if you showed them everything they will judge you, that's a -6. If you feel like you don't need to prove your worth to this person in order for them to like you or respect you, that's a +6. If this person shows up when it matters, not just when it's convenient for them, then that's a +7. If you feel like you're competing for their attention in the relationship, that's a -8. If you felt calmer since dating or being with them, then that's a +6. If you've stopped doing self-destructive things since dating or being with them, that's a +9. If you've started doing self-destructive things since dating them, that's a -12. If this person takes care of you when you're sick, then that's a +6. If you actually genuinely look forward to seeing this person, that's a +7. If you receive good news or like something good happens to you and like this person is the first person that you want to tell this good news to, then that's a +5. Okay, so that wraps up the third section of emotional security. If this section lowered your score, it usually means that your needs probably aren't being met, and that's important to pay attention to. do. Okay, so the next section is about life trajectory. So this is basically long-term compatibility between the two of you. A lot of people skip this conversation when they're in a relationship because it's serious and it's a fucking downer, but so is divorce. So here we are. Okay, starting with the first item, if you have directly opposing views on health and exercise. So what I mean by this is, like, for example, if one person in the relationship is very focused on their health, they eat clean, and the other person, this isn't like a priority for them, and this is a -9. The second item is if you have directly opposing views on where to live. So for example, if one person wants to live abroad while the other person wants to stay near their family forever, and this is a -10. If you have directly opposing views on finances and career, for example, one person likes to save aggressively but the other person spends impulsively, or you have differing views on debt and savings, this is a -9. If you have directly opposing life goals and dreams, so for example, if one person really wants stability but the other person wants adventure and to travel, then this is a -11. If your day-to-day routines don't really match up, so for example, it could be like one person is really tidy and the other person is messy, or like one person wakes up really early, the other person is nocturnal, then this is a -8. If you have directly opposing views on religion or spirituality, this is a -10. If you have directly opposing views on having kids, so for example, one person really wants kids, the other person doesn't, this is a -12. If you've imagined introducing this person to your parents and you felt dread, then this is a -8. If their lifestyle constantly drains your energy or it drains your money, then this is a -7. If your friends don't like this person, this is a -3. If you find yourself having to defend this person to like people that care about you, so for example, your family or your friends, then this is a -7. If you can picture yourself growing old with this person or being with this person long term, this is a +8. If you feel like you can accept this person's flaws and their shortcomings and you're okay if they never change, this is a +8. If this person acts like your time is less valuable than theirs, this is a -8. Okay, so that wraps up the end of the life trajectory section. If this section came out negative, it usually means that you probably want different futures, and that honestly isn't really something you can ignore. Okay, so the next part is about the intangibles, or like the chemistry between the two of you. So this is basically like the unexplainable part of like falling in love with someone. So like the chemistry between the two of you, you know, like the stuff that if people are like, oh, you guys have chemistry, or like the spark between the two of you, it's basically the shit that makes you ignore all of the other red flags, all of the other bad stuff in the other sections. If this person makes you laugh in a way that no one else does, this is a +5. If you think about this person when something funny happens, this is a +3. If you fantasize about changing this person, this is a -8. If you feel like you're dating this person because of their potential rather than who they are right now, this is a -10. If you feel lucky to be with this person, this is a +8. If you can imagine loving this person at 70, that's a +4. If you can imagine this person ghosting you, or like this person has ghosted you, this is a -5. If this person has made you laugh when they were mad, this is a +5. If this person has made you laugh when you were sad, this is a +5. If this person has compared you to someone that they used to date in a bad way, so for example, you're in an argument and this person is like, oh my god, you're just like my ex, and that's a -6. So that wraps up the end of section 5. If you did well here, then congratulations or condolences, you are probably in love, which is both the best and worst thing that'll probably happen to you in your entire life. So while you're tallying up whether this person is or isn't good for you, let's talk about building something that is actually good for you. A website or a portfolio, which you can do with today's sponsor, Squarespace. So for those of you that don't know, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a clean professional website. What I like about Squarespace is you don't have to start from nothing. You can use their designer templates and drag and drop editor, and it just makes everything look clean and professional right from the get-go. Even if you have zero design skills or like zero patience to try and format the website and make it look nice, you just have to swap in your own text, your own photos, colors, and it already looks fully presentable and professional. And if you ever want to put out a product, like a digital product, a physical product, a guide, template, whatever you want to do, you can do it directly through Squarespace. They have built-in tools for digital downloads and member sections, so you don't need any extra software. So if you want to build something for yourself and do something that's not just indulgent spiraling online watching stupid videos like, oh, do they like me? Are they right for you? I'm just kidding. Keep watching my videos. But if you want to not just do that, then head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use my code Crystal to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Okay, so the next section is about you in the relationship, or like self-impact. So what this means is like this measures how the relationship is affecting you. So like not the romance and like not the dynamic with this person. I mean like literally like after being in this relationship, does it affect your mood, your habits, your confidence, your day-to-day functioning. Like, it shows whether or not this person makes you calmer and more yourself, makes you feel better about yourself, or if it makes you feel more insecure and stressed and just like a shell of what you used to be. So the first item here is you like who you are around them. This is a +6. If you feel like a worse version of yourself around them, this is a -8. If this person supports your ambitions, this is a +5. If you feel guilty talking about your successes in front of this person, this is a -6. If you feel like you'd still like this person even if this person wasn't first attracted to you, this is a +4. If you feel like you're with this person just because you're scared of being alone, this is a -10. By the way, I've made an Excel sheet of this checklist. It's interactive, so basically you just have to like check the box next to each item and it'll like tally your score for you, so you don't have to like do the math of like blah 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 blah. If that's something you'd like, then you can check out my coffee shop and the link is up there and it's also in the description. If you feel like this person genuinely makes your life better, this is a +8. If you feel like you need to tone down parts of your personality around them, this is a -6. If you've stopped doing things that you enjoy since dating this person, this is a -7. And finally, if you've already imagined how you're gonna explain this fucking dynamic or this relationship to a therapist, that's a -8. So that wraps up this section. A high score in the section probably means that the relationship is actually like good for your life. A low score probably means it's costing you your energy or your identity or your stability, even if everything else looks kind of fine on the surface. Okay, this next section is about trust and resentment. So this section is basically only relevant if you've ever felt jealous or insecure or insane about this relationship. So basically all of you. Okay, probably a bad joke. This part is a little bit more serious. It's a little more sensitive because it discusses like how you feel about your partner's actions. So it's like your subjective experience here. So the first item in this section is if you've never actually defined what exclusive means between the two of you, this is a -6. If you said that you were okay with this person's past flings or hookups, but like in reality, subjectively to you, it still lingers in your mind, that's a -4. If you know this person flirts or talks to other people and you pretend it doesn't bother you, so the important part of this again is like your subjective feelings towards their actions. If they do something that bothers you, this is a -8. If you've caught yourself stalking the social media of someone they used to see, this is a -6. If you think you're calm and you're relaxed and you're chill about the dynamic and like you've told this person that you're fine with how it is, but you're actually not. You're not chill at all. This is a -9. If things have gotten so bad that you found yourself rereading old messages between the two of you just to like reassure yourself that they actually like you or like they have interest and feelings in you, then that's a -5. If this person makes you feel replaceable, it's a -9. If you feel like they're emotionally checked out of the relationship, that's a -10. If you feel emotionally checked out of the relationship, that's a -12. If you forgave this person for something that they did, but like in your heart you know that you didn't really forgive them, that's a -10. If you've avoided bringing something up because you're scared it'll make you sound jealous, that's a -5. If you feel as if this person isn't fully over their past relationship, that's a -7. If you don't fully trust this person, that's a -5. If because of something that's happened between the two of you, you feel like you love this person or you treat this person more carefully than you did in the past, and that's a -7. If you don't know what this person's actual boundaries are with other people, that's a -5. If you've rationalized something this person has done to yourself, even though deep down you knew it crossed the line, that's a -10. And if you've considered testing this person's loyalty in some way, then that's a -6. And if your score just dropped like 50 points, that's not the test's fault. Okay, bad joke. But in all honesty, trust issues usually come from real experiences, probably not your imagination. So whatever sections, items you've checked off in this section, it's worth paying attention to like what came up. Okay, and the final category in this checklist is about appearance and physical comfort. So this section is about how you feel in your own body or like in your skin when you're around this person. So whether or not you feel accepted as who you are physically. So the first item is if you feel comfortable being seen at like your air quotes your worst. So your worst being like when you were sick or like if you don't have makeup on or if you have acne, messy hair, morning face, etc. Like whatever makes you feel like you don't look your best. If you feel comfortable regardless of that, that's a +7. If this person makes you feel attractive even if you don't feel like it, then that's a +6. If this person has made you feel insecure about your looks, then that's a -9. If you feel the need to dress up so that this person will stay interested in you, that's a -7. If you feel self-conscious around this person, that's a -6. And if they notice small changes in your appearance, so for example, you got a new haircut or you have a new outfit on and they actually compliment you or they say something, that's a +4. Okay, so that wraps up all of the sections in this checklist. So you should now have a final score or like tally up your final score, and I'm going to let you know what your score means. Okay, so if you scored between 180 to 234, then that means that your relationship relationship is extremely healthy. You're probably with like, honestly, maybe your fucking soulmate, maybe like your husband, your wife, like you're with someone who is genuinely good for you. You feel safe, you feel respected, you feel understood. There's no major unresolved issues. This is basically what a functioning good relationship looks like. If you scored between 120 to 179, then this is healthy. This is a solid relationship. You communicate well, you're aligned on the most important things, you feel good around this person, you feel happy with them, you like who you are with them. If you scored between 60 to 119, then your relationship is pretty good. So this relationship is mostly positive, but like maybe with some friction. It's not perfect, but it's also not unstable. If you both put in effort, then this can probably be a long-term thing. Nothing here is fatal. Okay, if you scored between 1 to 59, then this is like neutral or unclear. So what this means is basically this relationship, there's connection between the two of you, but there's also noticeable issues. So this could go either way, honestly, depending on the amount of honesty and communication and effort both of you put into the relationship. You're not in immediate danger yet, but I wouldn't necessarily say the relationship is thriving. Okay, if you score between 0 and negative 59, then I would say this is not great. So here in this relationship, you're probably compromising more than you realize. There's probably already some things about the relationship that bother you, and if you don't resolve them, it's likely that even more things will continue to bother you. This isn't a disaster yet, but it's not looking good, I'm not gonna lie. If you score between negative 60 to negative 149, then I would say I'm fucking sorry, man, you're problematic. So here there's like repeated patterns of maybe resentment or like mismatched values, emotional instability. You're probably ignoring things that you really shouldn't be ignoring. And all in all, the relationship is probably draining you more than it should, or it's taking from you more than it gives to you. Okay, now we're really getting into the fucking trenches. If you scored between negative 150 to negative 249, I'm sorry, this is bad. This is bad. You're probably unhappy. You know exactly why. It's your relationship, but you've normalized it, and you're probably trying to make the relationship work even though it doesn't meet your needs. If you scored between negative 250 to negative 349, then this is very bad. I really didn't work on these fucking score names. I'm sorry. This is very bad. It's affecting your self-esteem, probably your habits, your day-to-day life, just your emotional, your physical health maybe. It might be that you're staying in this relationship out of fear or guilt or just the amount of time you've been with this person, or like you're attached to this person, but honestly, if you're honest with yourself, you're not compatible long-term. And finally, if you score between negative 350 to negative 420, then you need to go. You need to go, man. You're in a relationship that's probably objectively harmful to you, and your needs and your well-being are clearly being ignored. And if I'm being honest, it's very unlikely that this is fixable at all or without a major change. You know this relationship is not right for you, Chief, okay? It is hard. I'm sorry, but you know what you need to do. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this content, then you should check out some of these other relationship advice videos I made. I made a separate checklist video here, which you can check out, or you can check out this video that YouTube thinks you should watch next.